makeup artist's worst nightmare is if they are unwell on a wedding day. Actually, it's probably every supplier's worst nightmare. Well, let me tell you about the time I was in fact unwell on a wedding day. So let's set the scene. It was last December. Yes, it was recently. This wedding had quite an early start and I can't fully remember what time I had to be there, but I just remember it was early. But the place I had to travel to was only a 15-minute drive, which was lovely. And you may be thinking, I already know where this story is going. Well, let me tell you, you don't, because nothing about this wedding morning could have been predicted. Also, guys, my eye eczema is playing up a little bit, so if I look extra wrinkly under or around the eye area, that is why. I actually started off that day feeling absolutely fine, perfectly fine, didn't feel unwell at all, felt absolutely normal. In fact, I was actually really looking forward to this wedding because the bride was super lovely and I was working alongside a hairstylist who I really like. I arrive at the hotel early and I start to take my kit inside to go get set up. I'd already texted the bride to let her know I was there and she said she would be there in approximately 10 minutes. So let me remind you, it's December, so it's cold outside. However, I walk into the getting ready room to what felt like a hot summer's day in the Caribbean. It was boiling in there. Obviously somebody had whacked the heating on and left it there. Of course, I go and turn that right down. I was first in the room and before I set up, I always like to scout about to see the best places for hair and makeup. I feel like I'm very thoughtful in the fact I always make sure hairstylists have a space suited to them. So like a dressing table with plug sockets and a mirror. Whereas makeup can really go anywhere. So I set up my kit on the bed on a towel, don't worry, and waited for my bride to arrive. Let's also talk about my outfit because that was a key component to this story as well. I was wearing a thick black hoodie, ugly creased t-shirt that I just did not want to see the light of day. And the only reason I wore it was because it was cold outside and I wanted an extra layer under my hoodie. Anyway, my bride and her bridesmaid arrive. All is good, I'm feeling good, and I'm ready to start makeup on time. It's not until the rest of the bridal party arrive, and there's about 8 people in this room, when I start to feel a little bit too hot. I then start to feel very sick. And I don't know about anybody else, but sometimes I can feel sick and know I'm gonna be all right. Other times I can feel sick and I just know it's gonna happen. And this was most definitely one of those times where I just knew it was coming. But by this point, I was already halfway through makeup on bridesmaid number 1. I'm gonna be annoying, come back for part 2.